On today's episode of Phinside The NFL, I was there live and in person to witness a fight breakout between the Falcons and the Dolphins, specifically Dolphins defense and the Falcons offense. Tua dropping deep dimes as he throws a 50-plus yard touchdown in team drills against the Falcons defense right into Tyreek's bucket for 6. Man, I'll tell you this much. I got a lot to talk about with the offensive line. We'll go over what I thought. We'll go over everything today. So do me the favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new, and as always, let's get into this.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score! Deep upfield on the near side, that open. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. It's not over the touchdown again!
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go!
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. And we are back here for another one. I got a couple things. First of all, listen, this video is sponsored by BetUS. Hey, man, preseason starts this week. If you want to bet on preseason games, BetUS is the place. The link is in the description. But, man, they got 24/7 customer service. They offer 125% matching up to $2,000 with your deposits. And you get payouts within 24 hours. Help out the channel and go check out our sponsor, BetUS. Link is in the description below. And please remember to gamble responsibly. Man, shout out to all of you for showing up. Man, we doing it out here. We putting it in, man. I don't know what else to say. We're putting in the hard work. I got another favor for you guys. Do me a favor. Go subscribe to the Blitz Pickup, all right? That is the new channel from my boy Lewis. Tony H is over there too. Lewis is doing his thing. So go subscribe to the Blitz Pickup, all right? There is the link in the chat right there. And shout out to Dolphins Gang Entertainment. He saw me today at camp, and you know, he came up, showed some love. Go subscribe to him too, all right? Dolphins Gang Entertainment, a good dude. Showed nothing but love, so shout out to him. Shout out to every one of you that's already showing up in the chat. Appreciate all of you for coming through. Man, we're going to get into it today. I'm going to go over, as usual, I'll go over all the articles and everything today so you guys can get an exact feeling and feel of what, you know, went on today. But I'm also going to give my thoughts. And let's start off with my thoughts, all right? So a couple things here. So I showed up right to watch the offensive line and, you know, the Dolphins offensive line versus the Atlanta Falcons defensive line, the team drills. It wasn't overly impressive. I saw guys getting beat with spin moves, getting arced around, getting their faces crossed. You know, there were a couple good snaps, but like I was like oohing and awing, you know, for better or for worse, and like people were turning around at me because, you know, I was responding to what I was seeing today. Wasn't overly impressed with what I saw from those drills. All right, so then I went up. Shout out to Randy and his amazing fiance. Right, I sat with them today, right by the media reporters. Shout out to Omar Kelly. Saw him. I saw Alan Pupar. Shout out to him. David Ferones. Saw him as well. I saw Alf, but I got to catch up with Alf tomorrow. I saw a couple other people. Shout out to Marcel Louis-Jacques. Saw him, shook his hand. We talked a little bit there. So shout out to all the reporters that were out there doing the work. Listen, I got to give them props. I don't know how you be live tweeting when things be happening so fast. And I know the question is, hey, Reason, did you wear sunscreen today? No, I did not. It was overcast. I didn't die, but it was hot. So, yeah, it was a good time there. Now, some takeaways from camp, just personally before we get into, I haven't even had a chance to really read a lot of the articles, right? So I'm just going to give you from what I saw a few things. Number one, Tua Tagovailoa. Tua is good, but Tua, it's, I'm going to say it. It's not fair to Tua right now. Okay, that offensive line, specifically the interior, is an issue. Mike White was, listen, there was one play today where Mike White was running play action. My word, all right? After he does the play fake, he didn't even have a chance to turn his head upfield. He was sacked. It was literally play action, right? Take the ball out of the running back's gut, and then didn't even have a chance to look upfield because right there the interior had been penetrated, and Mike White was sacked. Well, he couldn't even get the play action off. Tua Tagovailoa, I thought he was good today. Now, he had an interception. Context to that interception, Braylon Sanders ran the wrong route. That would be the context of that. I got the clip of the Tua deep dime. I'll show you that today. Tua nailed a 50-yard bomb to Tyreek against the Falcons defense in team drills. So it was no one-on-one thing. It was straight-up team drills. So I'll play that clip here in a bit. But Tua was good, but Tua was either getting moved off the spot and checking down, or when he was getting time, if there wasn't a throw to make for chunk yards, majority of the time, a lot of guys weren't getting open. Willie Snead had a bad drop over the middle of the field. He was wide open. Malik Washington had a great catch on a Skyler. Was it Skyler? No, it was Mike White. On a Mike White throw that was too high. Malik stretched out, went up and got it, and came down, right by the right sideline. He was good. There were some botched snaps today. Aaron Brewer and Tua had a botched exchange under center. And then Aaron Brewer had a shotgun snap that was a little low, but Tua should have had it, and Tua dropped it. And then there was also, I don't know who the center was at the time. I didn't see the number, but there was a botched snap over the head of Mike White as well. So there were snapping issues a little bit today. I saw that the fight broke out. Chop Robinson was up there. It looked like Chop Robinson was going up there against, Chop Robinson was up there going against almost the whole team, it seemed like. From what I understand, it was Ethan Bonner and Drake London got into it, and then it was just turned into this huge big brawl. It turned into this huge big brawl, and it was funny. I mean, that's the second fight at Dolphins camp, one with another team and one with the own selves. So, man, it was a great day at camp. So I was in the bleachers right by all the reporters. So I had the Dolphins offense on the field close to me, and the Dolphins defense was on the other side. Now, from my understanding, they're going to flip tomorrow. So I'll have the Dolphins defense closer to the bleachers and the offense on the other side. I still haven't decided yet. I might just go over there and go look at what they're doing on the offense, because I want to see this offensive line. All right. I need to see more from this offensive line. That's just where we're at right now with this. All right. This offensive line was not overly. It just wasn't. So, anyways, that's what went down today. That's what I saw at training camp. It was a very, very, very interesting day from training camp. I had fun. It was a good time. It was honestly, it was honestly just a good time to be out there. It was honestly just to go out there, get my feet wet with my first, joint practice that I've attended. It was a good time. So, listen, things you can clean up, obviously, right? But listen, hey, things happen. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not overly stressing right now. The offense, it looked good at times. It looked out of sync at times. I think the interior was more of an issue than the tackle spot too. Austin Jackson looked pretty good. Patrick Paul. Now I had my eyes on Patrick Paul. This is what I saw from Patrick Paul. I'll just be honest here. You see the potential when you watch Patrick Paul. You truly, truly, truly do see the potential. All right. With Patrick Paul, um, there were reps where he got his hands inside the defender and he moved them. He moved them no problem. He moved them off their spot, got them out of the way, et cetera, et cetera. Then there were other reps where he just wasn't clean with his hands. His hands were getting too wide, and he got called for, I counted, Randy's in the chat right now, I believe. There was about 3 holding calls we saw on Patrick Paul, and you would see it. The ref would, call the hold, and then you'd see Butch Barry beeline right away. He would beeline right to Patrick Paul. And I got to give props to Butch Barry. I got to give props to Butch Barry. He's right in there, man. He is right in there. You see him coaching everyone up. You see him going in there 2 or 3 times on a rep, right? You'll go in there one time before the rep and then once or twice after the rep. So, I really, this is a weird takeaway, but I really like what I saw from a guy I really liked what I saw from Patrick Paul and what I saw when he was doing the clean work, but I really liked what I saw, and this is the weird take, from Butch Barry. Really hands-on, getting the work done. I really appreciate everything Butch Barry was doing. Yeah, exactly. Randy, this is who I was sitting with. Yes, him and his fiance today. Says Butch Barry is great, but he was a riot. He coaches with his pants on fire. I agree 110%. But he's dedicated, man. He's dedicated. You better be coming out here tomorrow, Brittany. All right. I think my graphic guy's coming out tomorrow. I'm gonna make a more I was supposed to meet up with Kevin today. I'm gonna try and meet up with him, Black Spliff. I'm gonna try and meet up with a bunch of you more tomorrow. Yesterday, listen, today I was really, the issue for me was I got there a little late. So tomorrow I'm gonna try and get there around 9 a.m. And Randy makes a good point. He says, you really can't get mad at Jalen Wright or Patrick Paul, clearly learning curve. And thank you for reminding me. Jalen Wright is clearly still learning this offense. We sat there and we watched. Jalen Wright literally ran into Mike White. After the snap, he just literally ran into Mike White. White took the snap, went to drop back, and Wright just came from his left side and ran right into him. Right? There's still a learning curve here with Jalen Wright and Patrick Paul, and this is to be expected. Randy made a great point, when we were up there sitting watching Patrick Paul. He said, you're asking this guy to go from an air raid offense to an outside zone. There's going to be, to an outside zone. There's going to be issues in terms of getting this offense down and learning it. So, but you know what? I will say this. The reps that I saw, Jalen Wright had some decent reps. The majority of the work was handled by Achane and Mostert. Jeff Wilson had a nice run to the right side. Jalen Wright got some reps. Red zone drills weren't overly impressive. It looked like there was only one surefire touchdown, and that was an Achane run up the right side. Now, the final drive, let's call it the final drive of practice, the 2-minute drill. So how they set it up was the Dolphins were down 12-10. 2 in the offense got the ball from their own 30 and had to drive the full length of the field in under 2 minutes. With 7 seconds left, they got to the Falcons 30, and then they kicked the field goal that would have won the game. But I will say this. It was because of the lack of protection. The offensive line also was getting no push in the run game. Like, that was very, very obvious too. The offensive line just was not getting a strong push in the run game. So it was a struggle for them to get from their own 30 to their 30, but they did it. I mean, and they kicked the winning field goal. If you want to go by, the drill, I mean, it was a successful drill. You won by 1 point. But, it was just Tua was in a spot where there was either short runs or he was having to check down. There was really not a lot of chunk plays. Now, I know they've talked about how they don't want as many chunk plays this year. They want to control the clock a little bit more. Well, I mean, success today then. But there were 7 seconds left. So if you wanted a touchdown, if you're down by 6 or 5, you were SOL. That's pretty much what the deal was. You would have been SOL, basically. So that's what we saw today at training camp. Great experience. I'll be back there tomorrow. You can count on that. So, great time. Again, thank you to Randy and his fiance. It was awesome. And shout out to all the reporters, Omar, Alan, David Feronis, Marcel, all the guys that I saw. I'll try to reach the rest of them tomorrow. I was just late. So, hey, ticket said 10:30 and it all started at like 10 after 10. And that's about, I got there around 10:30. So, but hey, listen, I expect these joint practices with the other teams we have them lined up with, they'll get better. All right. I'm not worried at all. They will get better. We'll be fine. This is the first time they're seeing another team. And they'll get better. I wouldn't worry. It is what it is. They'll get better. Now, will the offensive line get better? I personally, where I'm at with this, I would be looking for upgrades. But I mean, I've talked about this before. Do we really think they're going to go bring in a right guard that'll replace Liam Eichenberg? It seems like there's kind of a mandate to get the most out of Eichenberg right now. And it seems like that mandate's been in place since McDaniel and his staff got here. Now, left guard is where I'd be a little suspect. I mean, we all like Rob Jones as a backup. Sure, that's great. But the problem with that is where's Isaiah Wynn right now? Listen, if you remember during the playoffs last year, the word was Isaiah Wynn. The word around the playoffs last year was Isaiah Wynn. What? Isaiah Wynn, if they would have went deeper into the playoffs, might have come back. Now all of a sudden, Isaiah Wynn's on the pup. We're not seeing him at all. That's what I would be worried about, is that left guard spot. You know what I mean? And that right guard spot. I mean, I'd replace both of them. You know what I mean? And I know fans want Connor Williams. I've heard Connor Williams has told Baltimore he's willing to play guard. I just think that bridge is a little burnt between Connor Williams and the Miami Dolphins. I mean, you had Drew Rosenhaus go up and say he wants to continue his career at center, and we signed Aaron Brewer, so he doesn't think a reunion is likely. Well, he got interest from Seattle. He's got interest from Baltimore, both teams that are set at center. So I think Connor Williams is going to be, when I hear he's telling Baltimore, I'm willing to play left guard, but that's not what he's mandating for us, I'd be a little concerned. So in terms of if that bridge is burnt, because, I've heard the relationship is not very good. A lot of, it was basically taken personal that they didn't extend him and that he ended up getting hurt when he wanted injury guarantees. Evan, what's the plan? I'll be at practice tomorrow, brother. I'll probably be getting there around 9:30 tomorrow. So email me. I want to set up a spot for a bunch of y'all to meet up so we can all meet up and hang out. So that's what the plan is for tomorrow. We'll meet up tomorrow. I'll be there around 9:30. Practice will start at about 10 after 10. And, we'll see. We'll go from there, right? So that's the plan for tomorrow. I want to meet up with, there's a bunch of you. I want to meet up with Cash, Black Spliff, Kevin, who wants to meet up with me. I'll meet up with you, Evan. There's a couple other people. So, all right. That's the plan for tomorrow, Evan. Deontay, yes, I am going to the Raiders game, sir. So basically what the plan is, I'll be flying in on the Saturday with my family. We'll go get settled in at Disney, and then I'll either be coming down with ball game or I'll take that bullet train down from the airport from Orlando down and on Saturday night, and I'll settle into wherever I'm staying, and then I'll be there Sunday for the game, and then I'll head back. Brother, don't worry. It's downstairs. The front lobby at the hotel I'm staying at sells pineapple, so it's going down. So don't worry, it's going down, baby. It's going down. So, guys, smash that like button. Over 330 of you already in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Appreciate all y'all for coming through. So let's get into a few things, all right? We got a bunch to talk about, all right? So let's get into these things, all right? So starting off, in case you did not see this news, bring it up here for you guys. The Miami Dolphins, they are looking at upgrades. So, you got to appreciate the fact that they're at least trying somewhat, right? So, they worked out yesterday. They worked out Scott Quisenberry as well as Justin McCray. Now, Scott Quisenberry is a center. He can play both guard positions if you need him to. He spent last year. He hasn't played since 2022. He got hurt last year. I believe he tore his ACL and his MCL. In March, last March. In August. I apologize. He resigned with the Texans in March, and then last August he tore his ACL and the MCL, and he missed all of last year. But hey, it's another center. It's not one of these UDFAs. It's a guy who's been around a little bit, right? He spent time drafted in 2018, 5th round, spent time with the Chargers from 2018 to 2021. Then 2022 and 2023 with the Texans. Again, I don't think he's, displacing Aaron Brewer, but this is a lot more certainty with him, aside from the injury, at playing that backup center position than any of these UDFAs we've brought in, right? So, would I be mad at it? No. Would I do handstands and backflips? No. But this would be a decent depth move. At least they'd be addressing it, right? And then with Scott McCray, I mean, he's been around. Scott McCray. Justin McCray, he's been around for a little bit, right? I mean, he was drafted in 2014 by the Tennessee Titans. And he's had stints in Tennessee, Green Bay for 3 years, Houston for 2 years. And he was with Carolina last year. Again, another guy who has played both guard spots and center. So clearly they're trying to upgrade the backup center position in Miami. They realize that, like all of us, that, this is an issue. You can't go into the season with just this. You need to upgrade that depth 110%. Right? Not even a discussion. So, just a heads up, parking lot gates open at 9:30. So there you go. Okay, yeah. So I'll be there around 9:30 tomorrow. I'll be there at 9:30. Don't worry. So, hey, at least they're trying to make some upgrades. No new news on the James Daniels inquiry either. Aside from they looked into it, we'll see what happens. Again, here's my thing with the James Daniels trade. I think, I know they looked into it. I know they looked into Greg Van Routen, but they basically wanted to guarantee him no money. So he just moved on. Do we really see them getting James Daniels? and sending Liam Eichenberg to the bench? Ask yourself this. After what we've seen since Liam Eichenberg's been drafted, I mean, people want to talk about Tua has been handed jobs. Liam Eichenberg's been handed jobs. Liam Eichenberg's been handed job after job, in fact. And they don't bring in a lot of competition for him. So, I don't know if I see, and then you'd have to pay him too, right? They'd have to re-up him. So, listen, would Reason, if he was the GM, go get James Daniels and send Liam Eichenberg packing to the bench? 110%. But we know Greer don't think like that. Greer, he's stuck on making his draft picks work to an extent, right? So let's get into this. I want to show this highlight from today. I mean, crowd went wild. The crowd went absolute wild when this play happened. Let me show you guys this. This is from today. This is the Tua deep pass. And watch right guard. Liam Eichenberg ends up on his ass. Now, he got stepped on. He didn't get pancaked or anything. What a dime. What a dime. And then Tua, I don't know if I'll show here. Tua went and did his normal. I'll show you one more time so you guys can see it. I'll tell you guys what Tua did after this. Absolute dime, though. Just an absolute dime. Absolute dime, man. Absolute dime. Loved it. Loved watching that. Definitely one of the highlights, the biggest highlight from today. And then after that touchdown, Tua did his whole, little pose there after the touchdown. Mike Hughes got beat in coverage. So, man, it was an absolute dime from Tua. So, man, loved it. It was great stuff. So, let's get in to training camp. Let's break everything down for all of you guys, all right? Let's start off with the Miami Herald and what they saw today. Man. Oh, man. I got things I could say, but I won't. News, notes, and observations from the joint practice with the Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons in Miami Gardens as the teams did simultaneous 11-11 drills on the two fields. The Dolphins defense got the better of it. Now, I didn't watch a lot of the Dolphins defense. The Dolphins defense got the better of Atlanta's offense during the first half of practice before the Falcons mounted two long drives later in the day. On the other field, Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill provided the highlight of the day, a beautiful 49-yard connection for a touchdown. Tagovailoa also threw the day's only interception to Falcons cornerback Mike Hughes. Again, context for that interception, because I was there, Braylon Sanders ran the wrong route. Other headliner, Falcons receiver Drake London, he started that mini brawl by pushing Ethan Bonner to the ground after a catch. Players rushed onto the field from both sidelines. Among those who didn't participate today, Jordan Poyer, Salvin Ahmed, Braxton Berrios, Jalen Waddle, Eric Izakama, Anthony Walkers, and Jordan Brooks, plus Mo Kamara. Later on, Waddle appeared on the sideline wearing sweatpants and no helmet. Armstead was not spotted in team drills, but he was running on the sideline. Ahmed is in a walking boot. Perhaps he re-aggravated a foot injury that ended his season last November. Mike McDaniel said that Walker and Brooks will return sooner than later. No timetable has been offered for Poyer or Izakama. The Dolphins aren't identifying the nature of any injuries during training camp. Teams aren't required to identify specific injuries until September 4th. Tagovailoa hit River Craycraft for 15 yards on the first play of 11-11 work. Craycraft continues to catch everything thrown near him. Bijan Robinson was stopped by David Long for 3 yards. Long was shaken up on the subsequent play, but was ultimately fine. Tagovailoa's pass over the middle to Tyreek Hill was incomplete, barely over his hands. David Onyemata beat guard Robert Jones to limit Devon Achane run to no gain. That was a rare misstep for Jones during training camp. Kendall Fuller and Jalen Ramsey did good jobs in coverage on Kyle Pitts and Darnell Mooney, respectively. Both incomplete passes were thrown deep by Kirk Cousins. Duke Riley and Long stopped Tyler Algier on a short run. The Dolphins' defense was great early, limiting the Falcons to fewer than 10 yards on the first 8 carries. Skylar Thompson delivered a 15-yard missile to Willie Snead. He had a very uneven day. Willie Snead dropped a wide-open pass. Wide open over the middle. He dropped it. Jack Driscoll had a bad snap. Yeah, so was Driscoll, who had the bad snap, ruining a play with Mike White. Driscoll's snaps at center have been an adventure. Starting right guard Liam Eichenberg looks like the best backup center on the roster, though UNLV rookie Andrew Meyer has had some bad snaps. He's number 2 on the depth chart. Tagovailoa hit Julian Hill on consecutive throws. Hill has had a strong camp. Yeah, Julian Hill was decent today for sure. Jody Fortson was decent too. White hit Tyreek for an 8-yard gain. White hit Craycraft for 15 yards on a sideline pattern. Jeff Wilson Jr. had a physical run, with Lester Cotton executing an effective block. Chair Tart tackled Algier for a 2-yard loss. Tart has come on strong during the past 3 practices. Michael Penix Jr., his long pass to James Washington was well defended by Isaiah Johnson. Grayson Murphy applied a pass rush. Chop Robinson had a tackle for loss early in 11-11 work. He has set the edge better in recent days. Robinson also got to the quarterback when he lined up inside on one play. Barrios sidelines, Achane returned kickoffs. Quentin Bell deflected a Kirk Cousins pass in the first set of 11-11 drills. Bell remains the biggest revelation of training camp. Bijan Robinson ran for 15, gashing the Dolphins' defense, but that was unusual. The Dolphins' defense got the better of Atlanta's rushing offense much of the day. Simultaneously, Achane ran for 4 yards on the near field. Achane picked up 5 yards on the next play. Tagovailoa dumped off a pass to Hill for 5 yards. Long stopped Algier for no gain. Long remains highly impactful against the run after missing the first few days of camp with a knee injury. Raheem Mostert gained 3 yards, while Algier was simultaneously gaining only 2 yards on the far field. Lances Robinson then gained 3. A White 15-yard completion of Braylon Sanders was negated by a false start. Penix dump off to Rondell Moore gained 10. Meanwhile, Thompson hit Craycraft for about 10 on the near field. Chris Brooks had a hard run for about 10 yards. Thompson's poor throw couldn't be corralled by Snead, but Tagovailoa then hit Snead on a crosser for about 15. Tagovailoa hit Tyreek Hill on that gorgeous 49-yard deep ball for a touchdown, beating Falcons cornerback Mike Hughes. Hill then jumped over a makeshift wall in celebration. David Long nearly intercepted an errant Cousins pass. A Tagovailoa dump off to Achane gained a few yards. Achane then gained 10 on a rushing attempt. Falcons receiver Drake London caught a pass, shoved Ethan Bonner to the ground, and then a mini brawl started. Falcons and Dolphins players came rushing off the sideline to join the brouhaha, which was controlled after about 15 seconds. It wasn't immediately clear if any punches were thrown. London's reception for about 20 yards before the play was probably Atlanta's best play in the first hour of practice. Atlanta's Anthony Johnson stopped Wilson in the backfield. Chop Robinson applied pressure before Penix completed a 7-yarder to Darrell Hodge. Snead dropped a pass from Thompson, second drop of the day. Tagovailoa had a missile to Tyreek McGowan for 18 yards. Tyreek Hill caught 3 short passes in one-on-one drills. A.J. Terrell closely defended him. Wisconsin rookie cornerback Jason Mader intercepted Kirk Cousins on a deep throw into the end zone on one-on-ones. Patrick Paul won all but one of his one-on-one reps against the Falcons defenders, and that was pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the one he lost on was a spin move to the inside. Robert Jones, the Dolphins' first team left guard, did a good job winning all of his one-on-one blocking matchups, including some against Falcons standout defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. Linebacker Duke Riley wore the orange jersey bestowed on the player who stood out in the previous practice. Jason Sanders hit all 7 field goals with a long of 50. D'Angelo Malone tackled Moser for no gain. Tagovailoa was then pressured into the throwaway in Achane's direction. That was followed by the Dolphins' most glaring mistake of the day. Tagovailoa was intercepted by Falcons cornerback Mike Hughes on a pass intended for Craycraft. Oh, sorry, so it was Craycraft. It wasn't Braylon Sanders. It looks like Tagovailoa was thrown to a specific spot, and Craycraft didn't get there. White hit McGowan for a short gain, then hit Malik Washington for about 15 yards over the middle, and then hit Daquan Burton on an excellent throw for about 20. I'll tell you right now, Thompson looked better than Mike White today. The Falcons' Zion Lagu blew up Jack Driscoll for a foil a running play. This hasn't been a great camp for Driscoll. Penix hit Kadero Hodge for a 40-yard pass, beating Sierra Neal. An Onyemata sack wiped out a Tagovailoa touchdown throw to Craycraft to a play through the sack. There's in tackling during these practices. Fuller and Javon Holland prevented an end zone completion onto Mooney. Holland got up slowly and walked to the sideline with a trader, but was fine. Linebacker for the Falcons, Milo Eifer knocked away a white pass to Jalen Wright near the goal line. Penix hit Charles White for a 10-yard touchdown. Penix then hit Ross Dwelly for another red zone touchdown. Each team then ran hurry-up drills simultaneously. The Falcons moved the ball down the field quick into Dolphins territory with a Cousins pass, beating Duke Riley to take Atlanta to the Dolphins 12, but the Falcons then went backwards and time expired. On the field where the Dolphins were simultaneously on offense, Lorenzo Carter sacked Tagovailoa to start the drill. Tagovailoa then hit Moser for a short gain, then hit Moser for 10 yards to keep the drive alive. Tagovailoa then hit Durham Smythe for 8, and then Moser for 2 short gains for first down. Like I said, he was either getting forced off his spot to check down, or when he was getting time, no one was getting open, so he's had to check down. That's what Tua had to deal with. A Craycraft catch took the Dolphins to Atlanta's 32. The time about to expire, Sanders hit a field goal from 50 yards. Teams will practice together on Wednesday morning in Miami Gardens, then meet in the preseason opener for both teams at 7 p.m. Friday at Hard Rock Stadium, with CBS 4 televising locally. So there is the update from the Miami Herald on what went down today. Listen, again, I didn't really focus much on the defense today, but one of the things we really wanted to see from this defense, right? We really wanted to see them be able to, and from the sounds of it, they were showing it up. They were showing up, and they were stopping the run today. So, like to see that. Love to see that for sure. Now the fight, I mean, everyone went wild, and it was like you said, it was like a good 15, 20 seconds. I mean, it was both sidelines cleared for sure, and everyone was going at it. Very interesting. I love how my first joint practice, there's a fight. It was awesome. Awesome. So, Chop was holding his own. Chop had 5 or 6 Atlanta players around him, and he wasn't backing down. Was not backing down, Chop. Sticking up for his defensive buddy. I love to see it, right? Love to see it. Beautiful stuff. So let's keep it going. Let's go into what the Sun Sentinel saw. They did it for me. Is that what? Yeah, they did it for me. I love it. If they would have done anything for me, I would have loved to see the O-line block better. Oh, man. So let's get into the Sun Sentinel and what they said today. So the Dolphins' first action against another team was a win for Miami. The Dolphins' offense was crisp no matter who was at quarterback, and mostly gave those passers clean pockets to throw from. I don't know if I'd go that far. Miami sprinkled in some runs for decent gains, both inside and out. See, listen, I was seeing a lot of interior penetration, and on top of that, I wasn't seeing a lot of push in the run game. The highlight of the practice was Tua Tagovailoa connecting deep with star wide receiver Tyreek Hill for a touchdown of about 50 yards. Hill, who beat Atlanta cornerback Mike Hughes, then leapt over a barricade behind the end zone to celebrate with fans. I was just working on my touchdown celebration, Hill said after Tuesday's joint session. After a beautiful throw down the field by Tua, I got excited. I was feeling the energy. The Dolphins also dominated early, not giving Atlanta an inch offensively before the Falcons started to settle in as practice progressed. The run defense was stout, but Atlanta later began collecting some decent gains and pass plays downfield. The two teams combined for a heated scrum as the entire Falcons sideline offensively ran onto the field to gang up on Dolphins rookie edge defender Chop Robinson in the middle of it, with one Atlanta player even tackling Robinson. The brouhaha was started by Falcons wide receiver Drake London making a catch against Miami cornerback Ethan Bonner and then shoving him down after a tackle attempt by Bonner. Defensive back Elijah Campbell then pushed London, and it was on. It's part of the game. If we were in a regular game, it would have been a tackle. You move on, Javon Holland said. But it escalated a little bit. It's hot out here. Everybody's competing at a high level. Even some Dolphins offensive players on the near field went over to the other field to support their defensive teammates. Hill was seen on the field by the end of the fracas, as were fellow wide receiver Jalen Wright and Taron Armstead, who were watching team drills, mostly to play peacemaker. It's good to see guys never back down from anyone, Hill said. Added veteran defensive tackle Calais Campbell, a Falcon last year, who began the inter-squad drills by bringing both sides together. It's a narrative that I think we're trying to change. We want to be tough guys. Observations. Duke Riley was Tuesday's orange jersey player. Riley has played an elevated role effectively in camp as Jordan Brooks and Anthony Walker have missed time. The opening 11-11 period, Tagovailoa started with a connection to River Craycraft, a well-designed play that quickly freed up Craycraft up the left side off a play fake. Craycraft later caught another downfield throw running toward the right sideline for Mike White. Skylar Thompson also delivered a downfield pass over the middle to Willie Snead. Jeff Wilson Jr. ran through a gaping hole on the left side of the line, picking up a solid block from Lester Cotton. In late situational drives needing a field goal, both Cousins and Tagovailoa got the teams in field goal range. Kirk Cousins converted a key 3rd and 6 to tight end Kyle Pitts. Tagovailoa hit Craycraft for the play that put Miami into range for a Jason Sanders 50-yarder. Falcons kicker Young Ho Koo's kick was from 39 yards out. In the second team period, Miami also worked on the wide run game and underneath throws, including one for a decent gain to Hill. When Tagovailoa finally opened it up for an intermediate depth throw, Anthony Schwartz drew a pass interference. I remember that play. Tua hit Anthony Schwartz, but he was being held, so he drew the interference. Yeah, he had him in stride. Tagovailoa was later intercepted by Hughes, who was earlier roasted by Hill on a throw behind Craycraft. No, Craycraft ran the wrong route. The Dolphins' defense dominated the initial 11-11 session against Atlanta's offense, giving up about 8 yards on 8 plays. Quentin Bell had a pass deflection as he put his hands up, converging on Cousins. Jalen Ramsey also had a pass breakup in coverage. Although Miami didn't force a turnover defensively, there was a botched snap that was there for the taking with defensive tackle Zach Seiler as the nearest defender. A play was stopped. Tier Tart showed impressive pursuit after shedding a block, running to the outside for a tackle for a loss on Tyler Algier. White delivered a strike to Malik Washington, who was sure-handed catching it as a defender converged on him in a tight window. If that's the throw that I remember, man, Malik stretched out and got that throw. It was a nice catch by Malik, man. Tagovailoa took a red zone sack from Lorenzo Carter on a play where the pocket collapsed and he had to tuck the football. Cousins threw a fade to the end zone to Darrell Mooney in red zone drills. It should have been picked off, but Holland and Fuller fought each other for it, so it fell to the ground. Falcons quarterback Michael Penix threw a 4-yard touchdown to Ross Dwelly. Achane had a good-looking kickoff return. Yeah, that was up the right sideline. Devon Achane, I remember that. Devon Achane returned that football up the right sideline, and I remember even turning to Randy and said, "Yo, that would have been a big game. That would have been a big game." I remember that, actually, because I turned to Randy and I said, "Yeah, that would have been something for the Dolphins for sure." I remember that play. In one-on-ones, rookie Patrick Paul had a strong pair of reps against Falcons edge rushers after slipping on his first rep. On one, he ran Lorenzo Carter very far wide off the spot. Hill won at least a pair of one-on-ones on underneath routes. Undrafted rookie cornerback Jason Mater had a couple of pass breakups and one-on-ones. There were a couple of poor snaps Tuesday after it didn't seem like an issue for a few sessions. Andrew Meyer sent one over the quarterback's head, and Aaron Brewer delivered a low one to Tagovailoa. There was also a botched snap. Stock up, River Craycraft had a phenomenal practice in Miami's first session against an opponent. He caught passes of about 20 yards from all three quarterbacks and in different parts of the field, a variety of routes, later catching an over-the-middle touchdown in the red zone drills, solidifying his spot on the roster again with his knowledge of the offense, fine route running, sure hands, and sound blocking. Stock down, Willie Snead had a pair of drops Tuesday. One was a bit of a low throw from Mike White, but he had no one around him and should have come up with it as he went to the ground. The other from Thompson hit him right in the chest. I remember that. Right in the chest on the in-breaking route. Snead did make a catch from Tagovailoa in between the drops, though. Cam Smith, he advanced into team drills after doing individual work yesterday. Riley had his leg examined early in one-on-ones but remained. Ramsey returned with compression on his left leg for a day's work after Monday off. Waddle watched practice in sweatpants. Armstead dressed but essentially watched drills. Braxton Berrios, Jordan Poyer, Jordan Brooks, Anthony Walker, Salman Ahmed, and Eric Izakama did not practice. Listen, I want to talk about this fight one more time because I forgot to make a point earlier that I wanted to make. you can tell, even from the little bit that I did see of the offense, of the defense, they don't want to be known as just a finesse team anymore. They want to be known as bullies. I mean, do you think it's a coincidence that they basically came out and said they want to be, known more for bully ball, and then now fights are breaking out? I mean, that's how you got to take this fight today. I mean, they wanted to show a little bit of a nasty side. They want to show their dogs, and they're not going to roll over here. So, I mean, that's what I took away from the fight: the choppiness and the edginess. They're trying to show teams, hey, this is no walk in the park up here. You come up to Miami. So, I liked what I saw there. I liked what I had seen there. So that was good stuff to me. That was really good stuff. All right, that was really good stuff, for me at least. All right. Now I want to go over another report here. We'll go over one more Dolphins report. We'll go over what Papar had here because it's pretty detailed, pretty good. So we'll go over that. And then I want to get into, I got an Atlanta report here. I want to see what the Atlanta beat writer is saying about today. And then I got a Mike McDaniel video I want to play. So let's get into this. So here we go. This is from SI. Dolphins players who didn't practice at all on this day. We've already gone over this. You know the list. Waddle is a comma. Ahmed, Walker, Brooks, Muhammad Kamara, Jordan Poyer. Armstead was present but working on sideline. By all measurables, the Dolphins had the upper hand on this day, with Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and River Craycraft looking particularly sharp for the Miami offense. Yeah, Tua was sharp today. The practice became with each team working on its down before the first competitive session, which involved one-on-ones. The highlights of those sessions included 3 completions from Tua to Hill, all 3 of them short passes, and the first despite good coverage by standout cornerback A.J. Terrell. Rookie Malik Washington had a nice over-the-shoulder catch on a play where cornerback Antonio Hamilton had great coverage but never turned around for the ball. Clark Phillips, the third, intercepted a deep pass by Skylar Thompson, but Thompson came right back with a nice deep completion to Anthony Schwartz. On the opposite field, rookie cornerbacks Isaiah Johnson and Jason Mader had some good reps. Slot corner Kader Kohu had his problems with veteran receiver Darnell Mooney. Remember, I wanted us to sign Darnell Mooney before they brought in OBJ, who beat him twice and incurred a DPI on another. Kendall Fuller was beaten for a touchdown by Drake London, who used his size to beat him. So let's get into the highlights. Moving on to 11-11, the Dolphins offense started with a 15-yard completion by Tua to River Craycraft. The biggest play of practice, of course, was 49-yard pass from Tua to Hill after he got behind Mike Hughes. This is what Hill said after practice. That was beautiful, man. We've been trying to hit that all camp against our defense. Unfortunately, our defense has been doing a great job of not giving us that correct look. We came out here today. We got the look we wanted, and obviously we executed the play and tore through it. I don't know what y'all call that. People can no longer say that Tua can't throw the deep ball because that right there alone showed like his improvement from when I first got here to now. Like, that's crazy. That's light years, man. Austin Jackson had a nice clearing block on a run play by Raheem Moser, but that was followed shortly after by Robert Jones getting beat by David Almanyetta, who was a problem for the Dolphins' offensive line today. Rookie Patrick Paul had a good block on a Jeff Wilson Jr. run and later did it again on a run by rookie Jalen Wright. Mike White had a nice completion to Craycraft near the sideline for a 15-yard pickup. Keelan Smith had a nice block on a good run by Wilson up the middle. Braylon Sanders had a nice diving catch over the middle on a pass from White. It came after the Dolphins drew a flag for a false start, and White bumped into Wright while executing a play fake. Skylar Thompson begins a series with a nifty 10-yard completion to Craycraft, throwing across his body as he rolled right. Yeah, that was a nice throw, actually. Yeah, I remember that throw. He took the handoff, faked the play action, rolled out to his right, and Skylar made a really nice throw on that. Chris Brooks had a really nice quick cut outside near the line to bounce the run out. Veteran newcomer Willie Snead had a rough outing with 2 drops, including one. He was wide open in the middle of the field, and Thompson threw low. Should have had it, though. I mean, I remember that. Austin Jackson had a good block on a pitch from Achan, on a pitch to Achan, to his next best pass after the bomb to Tyreek was a dart to Kyrie McGowan between defenders for about a 12-yard gain. With that play, I remember me and Randy looked at each other like, who's rocking that number? And I had to look it up, and it was Kyrie. So Jalen Wright showed off his speed in a way we hadn't seen before on a run that he took outside. Mike White took off scrambling after getting a pressure by cornerback Anthony Johnson on what likely would have been a sack in a game situation. Skylar Thompson also likely would have taken a sack in a game situation, but the play continued. He hooked up with Malik Washington for completion. Snead had a second drop, this time on a Skylar pass in traffic. A sequence with Tua at quarterback began with a low snap that Tua dropped and was followed by Mozart being met by a group of defenders in the backfield. Yeah, so Tua, it was a low snap. Tua dropped it, picked it up, and still made the throw. A bit later, Tua threw a pick when he threw a pass downfield after rolling out in the direction of Craycraft. The pass wasn't anywhere close to Craycraft, so there may have been some miscommunication there. In any event, Hughes made the catch for the pick. Jack Driscoll was cleanly beaten by Zion Logue to blow up a run by Wright. White had a nice throw over the middle that Jaquan Burton slid in for the catch. Von A. Chain did a good job in a blitz pickup against Terrell. The pressure quickly got to Tua for sack. Onyemata had another sack of 2 on the next play. Lorenzo Carter got a sack against 2 at the beginning of the 2-minute drive. The drive ended with a 50-yard field goal by Jason Sanders, who was 7 for 7 on his attempts. Now, the defense, their highlights. Far end of the field, the Dolphins' defense had a good day against the Falcons' offense, particularly the first group. Fuller had good coverage against tight end Kyle Pitts to force an incompletion, and Jalen Ramsey followed that up by breaking up a pass intended for Mooney. Duke Riley and David Long also stuck Tyler Algier on a running play. Chop Robinson got into the backfield for a tackle for a loss against Carlos Washington. Tier Wright had a tackle for a loss against Algier. Long stopped Algier at the line on a running play. Long later had a chance at an interception on a Kirk Cousins pass, thrown behind London, but wasn't able to make the catch. There was a skirmish involving the Dolphins defense and Falcons offense that began after a 20-yard completion to London and involved cornerback Ethan Bonner, Calais Campbell coming off the sideline to play peacemaker after a large group came together. Robinson also had great penetration to force a quick throw by Cousins that he completed to Kaderil Hodge. Cornerback Storm Duck had a good stick after a short run by Falcons running back J.C. McLennan. Grayson Murphy's pressure caused a high throw by Michael Penix, forcing incompletion. Zach Sealer got to Kirk Cousins for a would-be sack. Robinson had pressure to force an incompletion by Penix. Sierra Neal had solid coverage against Hodge, but was beaten for a 30-yard gain when Penix threw a perfect pass. Marcus May had a pass breakup on a third and goal play, and Brandon Pilley stuffed Algier on the run. So again, run defense showing up, showing some moxie today. Love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. Chop Robinson getting some pressures. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Offensively, again, the interior, they talked about Jack Driscoll being beaten cleanly by Zion Logue. We got some stuff to clean up. But I would say, if you were to ask me, I thought Mike White looked better than Skylar Thompson today. That's what I would say, at least. That he looked better. Willie Snead, he ain't making the 53. He's just not. And, I can't stress enough how beautiful that bomb from Tua to Tyreek was. It was glorious. Glorious. So let's keep it going. Let's get into Atlanta side, right? We like to do this on joint practices every year. We always like to see what the other side is saying. So this is from Orlando Ledbetter. The Dolphins and Falcons took part in a spirited joint practice Tuesday that featured one minor scuffle, the Falcons' inability to cover the speedy Tyreek Hill. Before things got started, former Falcons defensive end Calais Campbell called both squads together, signed with the Dolphins over the offseason. He said, "Yeah, I got a lot of friends over on that side," Campbell said. "A lot of good memories. I just connected with everybody. Talked about what to expect, the expectations for practice, no fighting, really making it about the work and getting better." Well, they didn't listen regarding the no fighting part. After Falcons wide receiver Drake London caught a pass over the middle and was pummeled by Elijah Campbell, A little scuffle broke out that also included defensive back Ethan Bonner. I was in the back, Michael Penix said. I thought about going, but I was like, nah. The fight was broken up and practice resumed. It was just guys playing football, Penix said. At the end of the day, we are professional. We teach guys to stay up. As soon as things go left, some people might not like it. That's how it was today. Calais Campbell did help to restore order. I wasn't in on that play, but of course, I tried to play peacemaker and make sure that it didn't get out of hand, Campbell said. We are an emotional people. Physicality is a part of the game. Sometimes it's going to be intense like that, but the biggest thing is don't let it stop us from practicing. Campbell said he's seen joint practice go south, where the teams end up practicing alone on separate fields. That doesn't help anybody, he said. You made the trip for no reason. The biggest thing was just getting back on par for what we need to do. The Falcons have a completion competition at right cornerback, opposite of A.J. Terrell. Mike Hughes was beaten by Hill on a 50-yard bomb. Clark Phillips had a nice interception while playing on the second team. It was beautiful, Hill said. We've been trying to hit that all camp against our defense. Unfortunately, our defense has been doing a great job of not giving us that correct look. Came out here today and got the look we wanted. Obviously, we executed the play. And Hill raved about the throw by Tua Tagovailoa. And he just said, again, I don't know what you call that, but people can no longer say he can't throw the ball deep. That right there alone shows his improvement from when I first got here to now. That's crazy. He and Terrell had good battles in the one-on-one drills. It was good, Hill said. It was fun to go against somebody else besides hearing Jalen Ramsey chirp all practice. It's fun to go against A.J. Terrell. He's a real good player in this league. Jesse Bates is obviously a really smart guy. They've got a real good core group of guys over there. A lot of fun today. I had a blast. On offense, the Falcons struggled running the ball against a stout Miami defense, even though there was no tackling to the ground. That's what we've been working on every day, Campbell said. This defense is built for stopping the run, creating pressure through different blitzes and different things. I think we are building something here. The Falcons' passing attack caused the Dolphins some issues. They do look a lot different, Campbell said. Even just a scheme competing against the offense in training camp last year and then this year, do a lot of different things. But, Kirk Cousins is a legend in this game. He's had a lot of success. He's made some beautiful throws today. Then Penix kid looks pretty good too. Remember, I know there's certain content creators out here who have acted like, oh, Penix is their guy. I was talking about Penix back last November. Remember, I've been a Penix guy. Remember, I thought there was a time where I said based on attitude alone, if you were just talking about attitude, if we're talking about just drafting guys on attitude, I would have drafted Penix over Caleb Williams. Now, if you're talking about pure talent, then yeah, I'm taking Caleb Williams over Michael Penix. But go back and the receipts are out there. I was the first one in this community on YouTube, in this Dolphins community, hyping up Penix. You go all the way back to November. All right? I know there's certain people that have tried to claim like they were the Penix guys, but no. They were just looking, they just wanted us to move off Tua. So, and Penix even said today he'll be ready to start. So, man, hey, a lot of praise even from the Atlanta Falcons today and their beat, right? A lot of praise from their beat on what we did. Yeah, you know what time it is, Chef. I done been hyping up Penix, right? Last November I was hyping this kid up, man. I love Michael Penix Jr. I think he's going to be. I would have done the same thing if I was at the Falcons. I think Michael Penix can be very good, very, very good, very good. So, but I mean, I saw some errant throws too today. I only glanced over at the defense. Again, I was mainly watching our offense against their defense. Tomorrow, if I'm in the bleachers, then I think the defense will be closer to me against the Atlanta Falcons offense. And I do want to see Chop. There's guys I want to see. No, Penix will not start week 1 over Cousins. There are guys I do want to see, but at the same time, I'm going to make the trek over. Man, I love you, Chef. Thank you for having my back, bro. Appreciate you, sir. Go check out, listen, you guys got to go check out Chef Jew on Instagram, man. The stuff that he bakes, I'm going to call Chef Jew a professional baker. The stuff he bakes, man, and some of the stuff he cooks up, if you need catering, the man's in the chat right now. You need to hit up Chef Jew. If you need catering, you got an event coming up, you need to hit up Chef Jew, all right? That's who you need to hit up. Exactly. I agree. Timothy Washington says, show me a team that is perfect. It ain't our whole offensive line. It's just the interior. 110%. I had no problems with the tackles today, and there were times where the interior gave us a clean pocket. So, but then they'd get a clean pocket and no one's getting open until it got a check down. I mean, we went over the 2-minute drill. I mean, you all saw it. It was all running backs and one tight end throw, and then a River Craycraft throw. It just is what it is. Just is what it is. All right. So let's get into it. I got one final thing I want to talk about here. So let's get into it. This is Mike McDaniel from Sirius XM Radio, and again talking about that playoff drought. That's why I want to play this, because they are making this a point of emphasis. All right, they are making this a point of emphasis for this season. They realize what it is. So let me play this clip for y'all.
Probably 60% of our team right now, of our 90-man roster, wasn't a part of last year's team. I'm certain 100% of the players on our team weren't here for 24 years. Yet, we are gifted with a tremendous opportunity of bringing a fan base a reward that's 24 years old. And although every player has only been here this since April, or this offseason, or maybe 1 year, 2 years, all the way up to Durham Smythe. This is all collectively, it's our identities that we're bringing together as this team, as this Dolphins team, and we have the opportunity to do something really, really memorable to make this year of our lives super impactful in the whole grand scheme of our legacies and all of that.
So I mean, listen, the thing is, I love that it's not even just expectations. It's not even just expectations. They know the history of this franchise and how much this would mean to this franchise and this fan base if we win a playoff game. I love it. I love it, man. I love how serious they're taking this. This team is winning a playoff game, 110%. Tua was sharp today, man. Tua was pretty sharp today. He was really, really good. I thought, at least. All right, he was really, really good. He was sharp. Like, you don't even have to watch him because you just know he's going to do his job. That's basically how it is with Tua. All right, I need you guys to do me a favor. Brittany just put the link in the chat right now. Okay, this Amazon wish list here. If you guys know her co-host, Mary Crippen, she's a great person. She does great stuff. So basically, she has an Amazon classroom wish list. This season, her theme is the perfect season. She's tracking Tyreek Hill and Waddle's yards and making it a competitor for who's going to get to 1,000 yards first. Go support, because everything on that wish list is for her class. I mean, you are supporting a Miami Dolphin fan running a classroom, and everything is for the class. So go show some love, all right? Go show some love to Mary. Go check out that Amazon wish list. If you have anything you can donate in terms of money to go buy something and clear up that wish list, that would be absolutely massive for Mary and her classroom. Hey, man, the money would be going to a very, very good cause. So go show support. Also, link is in the description. This training camp report is sponsored by BetUS, all right? 24/7 customer service. They will match your deposits up to $2K by 125%. Payouts in 24 hours. Preseason games start this weekend. You want to bet on Atlanta and the Miami Dolphins? Go over to BetUS. Link is in the description. And, just all I ask is that you gamble responsibly. That's all I ask, all right? So, listen, appreciate all of you for coming through. We're going to do this all over again tomorrow. I will be live at camp tomorrow once more, looking to meet up with a bunch of you. So email me, phinsidethenfl@gmail.com, and let's set up a place to link up tomorrow. Smash that like button. Please do me the favor. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Go subscribe to Sideline T2. They're right out there for 1K. They're right about to come up on 1K. So go show them some love. Appreciate all of you coming through. Almost 400 of you in the room. Love each and every one of you. As always, you know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day. And they are Sideline T2 subs away. So go show some love and get them to 1K. All right? Love all y'all. And I will see all y'all tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening, everyone.